Good evening and welcome to the Arundel Clamor Club live virtual stream for Thursday, January 20th, 2022. My name is John Milliker and I'm the club president for the 2021-2022 season. The Arundel Clamor Club was founded in 1957 and exists to promote the arts, science, and education in all aspects and fields of photography. For more information about us, please visit www.arundelcameraClub.org. Thank you for joining us on our virtual live stream. With the help of members and our officers, we made the tough decision to stay virtual until the end of our club year and then start things back up hybrid in September. I want to thank everyone for reaching out to me in email, and while everyone understood the decision, we've had people who were both happy and unhappy about it. For those who want to meet other members in person, be sure to take advantage of our great field trips, and once the weather starts getting warmer, we're planning on starting the meet and shoots again. And before tonight's photo contest, here is our upcoming schedule. Next week we have, we're going to send out an email either tonight or tomorrow for next week. And then also on February 3rd, these are two dates that unfortunately we had lost from not going in person again. And Christine's been working diligently on trying to get programming for us. And then on February 10th, Janet Matthews. What is Janet's talk about, Christine?
Sorry. I'm not sure yet. She hasn't gotten back to me with a topic yet.
Okay, I know it was titled as an artist talk, but we'll.
Yeah, she wants to review some of her work, I believe.
Perfect. And then the next week on February 17th is another digital photography contest with one of the favorite themes that we all like is abstract. And be sure to keep an eye out on for an email from Ron there. And with that said, here is Ron Pfeiffer to introduce tonight's judge.
Okay, good evening. We've got a really good set of pictures to go through this evening. I think you're going to enjoy it. And we have a really good judge who has been with us before. His name is Mike Washington, and you may recognize the name. And you check your Facebook photo there, you'll see Mike. Mike has been somebody I've known for a number of years. He's started off at a little different pathway into photography from many of the rest of us. He was a film student in the 1970s. And while he was working with cinema and videography and the basic mechanics of composition and so on, he started to drift into still photography. And it's out of that he got his sense of what visual literacy is, I guess is a good way to put it. Mike did not end up in Hollywood, however. He ends up instead in a career of event staging, providing and leading stage crews and technicians for large public and private stage events, trade shows, and conventions. So he got back into still photography. Sounds like close to 2 decades ago, and he started looking at developing and refining his skills, and what was a hobby, I guess, for him has morphed into a full-time passion. I know this because I follow Mike on Facebook, and it seems like every day he's out there with his camera, and I highly commend him. Rainy, hot, cold, whatever it is, he's out there and he's really trying to do something new and unique. Currently, Mike is on the executive council for the Maryland Photography Alliance. He's the treasurer. He represents Carroll County Camera Club in the MPA Board of Directors. He's also a technical advisor and a video editor for MPA's series Artist Spotlight, which many of us have watched those webinars. And also when we do the annual Odyssey of Light, Mike makes that happen too. He's really good at the magic. Mike is a certified MPA judge. He can do both photography judging and active with critiques. So, Mike, welcome aboard. And is there anything I forgot to talk about?
No, not at all. Actually, I'm well familiar with your club. I've actually, this is not my first rodeo with you all, and I've been to a few of your meetings back when before the plague and when you were at the high school. And I follow several of your members on Facebook and Instagram. So you got a pretty talented crew there.
Well, Mike,
tonight I would actually be at one of my own clubs at Baltimore Basically, there's a contest there tonight. I got a few photos in, so I guess judge not, yes, lest ye be judged. So,
Fair enough. Well, Mike, we have 24 novice images this evening, and we have, I believe, 39 unlimited images. And we're going to do the usual. You've seen us go through this before. We're going to do the first round to kind of just go through all the images. We'll go over the names or the titles for each, and go back and do a couple in-out rounds and all that. So if you have your seatbelt on, why don't we go ahead and get it started, John? Okay. If you're ready, let's go through these images and see what we have tonight. Number one is Cafe Leche, California. Cafe Leche, I guess, if I pronounce it properly. Number two is Eye of the Catacomb. Number three is Contemplation. Four is Face and Shadow. Five is Captured. Six is Pasadena Weather Vane. Seven is Venus at the Met. Eight is Foliage Music. Nine is Joy. 10 is Family of Three in China. 11 is Forest in the Snow. 12 is Bison in Mist. Number 13 is Salt Pan Palette. Number 14 is Surf's Up. Number 15 is Capital Wheel Stormy. Number 16 is True Colors of the Sea. Number 17, Coal Barge Wheeling. Number 18 is YMCA. Number 19 is Edinburgh Castle. Number 20 is Check Out These Clouds. Number 21 is Mangrove Root. Number 22 is Knock Knock. Number 23 is Step Back in Time. And number 24 is Now You Can Take My Picture. Now for the photographers who submitted, so you know, your images were submitted, and Bob took a computer program and randomized the order of them, so the pictures are in all kinds of mixed up order from when you submitted them. But no two pictures from the same artist are side by side here. So let's do this way. This evening, Mike, we're looking for first through fourth place, and 2 honorable mentions.
All right.
And let's turn it over to you, and we'll try to keep track. First, so going back to image number 1, Cafe Lychee, California.
Okay, I'm looking at that right now as we speak. This was taken during a pretty challenging part of the day. It's pretty contrasty. Although it's colorful, but I'm not entirely certain if you all need all that color. When you got all that kind of contrast, it's a good time to press the V button and take a look at it in black and white. Um, it it fares well. I mean, I like the subject and I like the guys that are sitting there with the green shoes. I mean, there's a lot of interesting things going on here, but a lot of the stuff, particularly on the right side, is not particularly necessary to the photo. It could be cropped considerably, probably just to the left of that little blue placard sign, and tighten this thing up to bring the image in together a little bit more, little less superfluous stuff that you need in there. But I like the angles and the shadows are so strong. I'd like to see you try this in black and white. I think it would make a spectacular shot and bring the detail out a little bit better in the stuff that's lost in the contrast. So I'm going to have to drop this one.
Okay. Number 1 is out. Number 2 is Eye of the Catacomb.
Here's another one. The color doesn't really do any good for it, but is kind of irrelevant. But it's not a problem. The only thing I see in this thing is the problem is that metal object in the middle that just seems so out of place, and which is otherwise this thing draws you in. I mean, it's very interesting looking, and I can spend some time trying to figure this out. There's a lot of good detail in the crags, in the rocks and all that stuff like that. But that little metal object or railing, whatever that is in there, just is kind of an eye detractor. It kind of pulls you away from what the whole subject is. And without that, this would be a much nicer picture. You could probably do a little, little Photoshop voodoo to make that go away. And I think you'd have a much better contender of a photo. But I'm going to have to drop this one.
Okay. Number 2 is out. Image 3 is Contemplation.
Okay, contemplation, and you achieved that story, and it almost looks like there's some beams coming through that up there, but the whole foreground is just kind of lost in a muddy abyss. There's just no particular separation, particularly with all that greenery in there. If you need a little bit more detail in the greenery to really make this thing pop out a little bit more, because you do have a good separation between light and shadow in here, but your subject is so far away you can't really. All she is just a shape. You can't really see what's going on there. This is something that could work a little bit better from perhaps a little closer angle and a little bit more manipulation in your contrast. But I don't see this making it to the finals, so I'm going to have to drop this one.
Okay. Number 3 is out. Image 4, Face and Shadows.
This one is a very. I like the whole concept of it all, but I think it's a touch too dark to actually read. Actually, I had to change the background color on looking at it on Lightroom. Right, I had to change the background color on to bring the lightness out on him too. A little more sharpness on the shadow, make it a little darker, make the face a little bit lighter, and I think you got a really good thing going here. But I don't think it's going to make it through the rest of the photos I got here, so I'm going to have to drop this one.
Okay. All right. Number 4 is out. Number 5 is Captured.
Okay, I don't know who I'm judging. The the artist who took the picture or the artist who took the picture of the picture with a bow on it. It's an interesting concept. One thing I got to commend the maker on this thing here too is basically you can tell by the highlights on the top there. It's on cellophane. At least that cellophane didn't bleed over in any of the picture. But it's to me, I don't see any wow factor to this, any interest to it. I mean, you've done everything technically right to it, but I don't see this thing passing to the next level. So I'm gonna have to drop this one.
Okay. All right, number 4 is out.
I think that's 5, Ron.
Number 5 is out. I'm sorry. Yes. Number 6 is Pasadena weather vane.
Okay. The subject is the weather vane. Here's another example of extreme, contrast of shadows and light. I think this one would do much better. You don't need the palm tree to tell you it's in a tropical zone. The roof tells you that just because it's that type of roof. Here's one I think would do exactly much better. Basically, just turn this into black and white. I think you have a more competitive picture there. Crop it down. You got a lot of space around this thing here you don't really need. You could even, make it a little bit more centered. It would work in this here too, and as a black and white. Otherwise, it's just a picture of a rooftop with a weather vane, and I don't think it's going to make it to the top of the list here, so I'm going to drop this one as well.
Okay. All right, number 6 is out. Let's go to number 7, Venus at the Met.
Okay. Yes, I like the concept of this. I like the way it's weighted with the statues at below and the one just kind of lingering off to itself. I originally had this set on a black background on the empty space of my Lightroom thing, and I switched it over to a neutral gray to make this thing just stand out, so I can see the difference between where the black ended in the picture, in the picture was. And I really like it. I like it. I like the use of the light and shadow in this one here. It doesn't need to be black and white because it kind of is already with just a little toning. But even the pedestal that the statue is sitting on is interesting because it's offset. There's some separation between all these things, and the light is definitely, you can see which direction the light's coming in, and it's a very intriguing photo. So I'm going to keep this one in.
Okay, so number 7 is in. Next image is number 8, foliage music.
Okay, this photo here, it's telling a story and it's nice, but I see you're really struggling with the highlights on this photo here. I can see where you probably pulled down your highlight level and muddied out all the lights because there's no detail in them. So that's kind of a hard thing. And the highlights on the plant in the back, on her arm, and on the bout and back of the guitar. You might have done better had you just swung around a little bit more to the right and catch this in like a 3/4 portrait, and showing a little bit more of the guitar in the face of the guitar and the neck of the guitar, and a little bit more of the face because the eyes are hidden behind the glass rims. And so it's kind of hard to make out. It took me a while to figure out the gender of this person until I saw the earrings. I think you should show a little bit more of the person. Yeah, the colors are good there. The focusing is fine, but you really have a hard time with the highlights there. So I'm going to have to drop this one.
Okay, number 8 is out. Number 9, Joy.
And actually, that's a good title for this. It's with her hands clapping in the face and the whole expression. Got some nice texture in the clouds back there, so you don't have a flat background. I like, even the rim of the hat is kind of a nice thing. And I like the whole color. The red and the green thing is basically it's predominantly red and green, and shades of red and green. The only thing I would probably say is you might want to think about touching up the height or the shadows right around the top of where the shadow of the hat is hitting her face, and maybe bring her eyes out a little bit more. You can see there's just a kiss of highlight in her eye, a little. But if you threw just a smidgen of bring the shadows up or the lightness up in there just a little bit more, I think it's a great shot. But I think it's definitely a competitive shot. So we're going to save this one.
Okay. So we leave number 9 in.
We leave nine in. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Number 10, family of 3 in China.
This is a well taken shot. Everything is good in this. It's just a nice slice of life going on here. This little family. Nobody's engaging with the camera, but they're sitting there. I got to commend the photographer on their exposure on this too, because with this black blouse and hair on this black on a very dark background, it separates. It's very nicely done. This one's in.
Okay, let's leave number 10 in and move to 11, forest in the snow.
Okay, took me a moment or two to discern that this was a dog, since I just saw the Chinese photo just prior to that. I thought this was a snow monkey, so it took me a while to adjust myself to that. Issues with this particular photo is, you got the photo nice, but I think you probably could have angled yourself off in a different direction to keep the trees from coming out of its head. And probably you could have done yourself a favor by basically giving yourself a little bit more light on this thing here too. You got some headroom in here too, or you could have taken it up a stop or two. That would have made the snow a lot whiter, for one thing, because you can see it's a little gray. And also, you probably could have gained that light just by basically taking your f-stop down a stop or two too. That would have blurred out the background and wouldn't make it look so obvious and distracting if you're going to keep that in that position. And one last thing too, I don't know what the obstruction was down in the lower left corner, but you accentuated, or lower right corner rather, but you accentuated it by putting the vignette around it too, and the vignette's fairly noticeable. You could have basically overcome that by not vignetting and basically raising the bottom of cropping the bottom of the photo up a little bit. So I'm going to drop this one.
Okay, number 11 is out. Number 12, bison in mist.
This is a very well seen photo. You got in a really nice spot to take this. You got the nice little curvy stream going down through there too. I would have, again, in this type of light too, I would have basically tried to crank your f-stop up a little bit more, because your focus starts dropping off right at the end of where the stream is entering the pond too. And you could have would have given you a little bit more detail, in the trees in the background too. And it wouldn't have hurt the fog at all, and probably give you a little bit more detail in the bison as well too. But with all that said, I like the photo itself. I like the way you've composed it, and I'm going to keep this one in.
Okay, number 12 is in. Number 13, salt pan palette. Salt pan palette.
Okay, this one here is the color palette is a little harsh. It is, yellow and blue mostly, which is nice complementary colors, but it is so harshly lit. I mean, it's really harshly lit. And so it really makes all the water and everything look way too contrasty. And on top of that, I don't particularly care for the angle that this is shot in. I can't find any particular interest level in this, and the only way to get around that is probably with either going to the far end of where the salt plains is and taking it on straight on, straight ahead, or a drone if you had one in your pocket, and go up above. That would be a lot more interesting. But this particular angle just doesn't work for me. So I'm going to drop this one.
Okay, 13 is out. Number 14, surfs up.
When I first saw this, I said, this can't be real. River surfing, until I saw all the other surfers standing on the side by, I guess it must be. And I think this is pretty cool. One of the things I probably would do to improve it a touch bit, or is basically work on your shadows a little bit more. I'd like to see the folks under the second arch there a little bit more. You just, other than just, I know they're there, but I like to be sure that they're there. And the same thing with the guy up on the hill. But other than that, I think this is a great shot. It's a very, you have to sit there and look at it for a while. Is this for real? So we're going to keep this one.
Okay, number 14 is in. Number 15, Capitol Wheel, stormy.
God, I remember when The Awakening was over on Haynes Point. I used to take my kids there to climb all over it. This is down in National Harbor. I know the place well because I work there so often. But this is a great shot. I got there right time of day. It's some nice weather up there. You captured it well. You exposed it well. Nice angle of view too, especially with the Awakening down in the foreground. We're going to keep this one.
Okay, 15 is in. Number 16, true colors of the sea.
Well, this shot does what it's supposed to do. It engages you. You've got to look around it all over the place to just see all the little things that are going on between the reflections and refractions in the water and the fish up in the corner of this. Even the tonality of the empty space there. The only thing that I'm curious about, and I will have to pass this one just so I can find out, is that rock and moss, whatever that is up there. I'd like to know, but it is an engaging photo. I looked at this one for quite a while. We're going to keep this one.
Okay, number 16 is in. Number 17, coal barge wheeling.
Yeah. Okay. This one here has a lot going on it, but I'm not sure what it is other than the barge. And it's a nice point of view, and a couple people and some, waterfowl walking around. But the focus probably could be tightened up a little bit more, maybe a deeper depth of focus, bring up your aperture a little bit more. There's not much you can do about the detail of coal because it's black. So this is an okay. I mean, I like the atmosphere and the clouds and everything like that, but it seems to be just missing something, and I don't know exactly what it is. Like I said, the focus could be worked on a little bit more too, and maybe just touch on the tonality. But I don't think this is going to make the competition tonight, so I'm going to have to drop this one.
Okay. Coal barge.
Number 17.
Out. Number 17, 18 is YMCA.
Okay. This is a fun concept. all these guys kind of look the same if it's a multiple exposure, because they all have the same haircut and the same body. My issue with this is you're dealing with the same color and the same palette and almost the same shade, and trying to separate all that is, you need to work on that. And it's very doable. It's very easily, but it looks like it even been a flash shot too. And if that's the case too, you got to work on the whites and highlights of the like the legs to get them a little bit closer to the arms. And then it's taken at a blue hour, so I would brighten that blue hour up just a little bit more, because the blue of the water body that's there is almost black, and it's sucking in the blue of the shirt at the same time. The shirt can be lightened up, even the shorts, but it's looking at the same tone. It's the same shade, basically the same shade of blue, except for the shorts to a degree. They all kind of blend into each other. So I see there's a shoreline back there too. If you could, emphasize a little bit of that there's an end to that water someplace, that'd be cool too. You might even want to use an adjustable filter on the bottom, just to bring a little bit more lightness to the sand body that they're standing on. But I'm going to drop this one.
Okay, number 18 is out. Number 19, Edinburgh Castle.
Okay, I like this, and I like the point of view of it. I'm going to keep this one in, but I'd like to tell the maker that I'd like to see them to do a little dodging and burning to sculpt the light on the rock outcropping that's this thing sitting on too. That would make up for a much more interesting photo too, and maybe with a little hint of yellow highlights, just to help sculpt the light a little bit on that, particularly on the highlights, where we see the tops of the trees and the little specular or the little bits of highlight on the rock. That would really, because I see a lot of potential with this photo. This is a great one. I'm going to keep this one.
Okay, 19 is in. 20 is check out these clouds.
And I did, and it didn't really hold my attention very long. It's a picture of clouds. There's nothing interesting going down below them, and it's one of those photos that if you're scrolling through, Instagram, something like that, kind of cool clouds. Next photo, please. I don't see this one really going too far, so I'm going to have to drop this one.
Okay, number 20 is out. Number 21, mangrove root.
This is a very nice subject to photograph. You got this nice specular highlight going on down there. The issue I see with this one here, other than, kind of got a really shallow color palette in here with a lot of dull colors. But the one issue I see with this is you didn't get it in focus. I don't know where your focus was. It looks like it might be just beyond that, but those roots, all the details are a little bit soft out, and if you had, when processing this there too, you probably could have brought a little of that out with texture, but still the realization is they're not really in focus. The leaf up top is in better focus than the roots are. And actually, I'd like to, if this was in focus and right on, and you could probably work on the shadows too, down in the lower right-hand side too, so you can bring out some of the details around these roots. This one needs some more work, although I don't know if you're going to bring back that focus. Maybe with AI sharpen, you might help a little bit. But I'm going to have to drop this one.
Okay, number 21 is out. Number 22 is Knock Knock.
Knock knock. Okay, the maker, or perhaps even owner of this feline, did a good job at getting her sharp and focused, and using a pretty open aperture to keep the background soft. However, he did do nothing for the highlights in the background, particularly that one blob of white that's right next to her eyes. It definitely takes away from her eye, which is much darker than that. I would work on basically darkening down those highlights a little bit, at least get them down pretty much to the closer to the same tonality as the fur, so it doesn't really rip your eye away from that gaze is like right in your face, and that's great. I would also probably, to compensate for that a little bit too, is brighten the eyes up just a touch. Don't make them look nuclear, but just bring them up just to bring them up just a little bit more, and that would also emphasize the catch light in the eyes as well. All easy stuff. And one last thing too, this thing has kind of a bluish color cast to it. You might want to warm it up just a touch. Other than that, you got a really good photo here to work with. But now I'm going to have to drop.
Okay, number 22 is out. Number 23, Step Back in Time.
There's a lot going for this photo, but there's one glaring thing that just kind of bothers me, and it may be a personal, subjective thing, but all I see is where this thing is basically cropped, and it's right above her chin. I want to see a little bit more of the head, or possibly the face, or a lot less of it. You find it's a critical spot where this thing's cut, and I find it personally, annoying. But other than that, technically, all the other parts are there. I mean, it's beautiful. It's got a nice moment of her darning, which I assume she's doing there. She's got a little sewing kit there next to her there. I like the way you dealt with the toning of the monochrome. But lift the camera up just a touch. If I could see her nose and mouth, or a little bit more than just a chin. That's just a critical area to cop. Or if you were taking this photo, I would have probably taken the whole thing up and just asked your subject, can you just look down? We don't have to see her face, but we have to see, something's attached to her shoulders. So for that, I'm going to have to drop it.
Okay, 23 is out, and our last image for the novice group is Now You Can Take My Picture.
Okay, I like this one primarily because of the symmetry of it, where you have your antelope, I assume it is, centered in the photo. All the rest is basically irrelevant. The background, to me, and I could be wrong, but it looks kind of manufactured in terms of focus. It looks like it's basically a Gaussian blur, perhaps with a little bit of grading down towards the foreground. The reason I say that is that the sky is more in focus than the background is, and so that's kind of a giveaway. But other than that, I like the photo, and I'm going to keep it.
Okay, number 24 is in, and so if I counted this right, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You've left in 9. Is that correct?
I didn't mark them, so I was hoping you'd keep
Okay,
track.
John, does that match up with your count?
Correct. I have 9.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Mike, do you want to do this by just working with all of them tiled up like this, or do you want to go through them one at a time?
Give me the 9 that I selected, please.
Okay. It should be up on your screen now.
I have, well, actually, okay, yeah, no, I'm looking at a different screen here. Okay, I got this one. And
7,
I got
9,
7, 9,
10,
10,
12,
12, yeah,
14,
right.
15, 16,
16.
Yeah,
19,
19, okay,
and 24.
Okay.
24. Okay, take this one out. Unflag that. Okay, then I'm going to start with, I need 6, so I need to drop 3. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. Okay.
And you can either drop 3 or you can start placing, and we can just let those 3 fall off the back.
Okay, it works. Let me just. I'll just show the flag once. Okay. Okay. For honorable mention, I will give to number 19, the Edinburgh Castle.
Okay. Honorable mention 19.
Uh-huh. I will give the Antelope, number 24, the honorable mention.
Okay. Number 24.
Okay. In 4th place, oh, wait a second. I need to drop one more. Oh, wait a second. No.
Right.
Oh, okay. I've got 4 more to select from. Okay. All righty. 4th place, I will give to Surfs Up, number 14.
Okay. 14 is number 4th place.
Third place, I will give to the Family of China, number 10.
Okay. Number 10 is 3rd place.
Second place, number 7, Views at the Met.
Okay. Second for number 7.
And I will give number 15 first.
Okay.
And the 2 that got left out, I'll give them a place in my heart.
Okay. Sounds good. All right. Well, let's go through, see who the photographers were this evening. Number 24. Now you can take my picture. Honorable mention to Debbie Wolf. Number 19, Edinburgh Castle, on honorable mention to Doug Wood. 4th place, number 14, Surfs Up, to Debbie Wolf. Number 3, Family of 3 in China, to Alan Hammerstrom. Number 2 is Venus at the Met, John Verdi. And our first place image this evening is Capitol Wheel Stormy, number 15, shot by Tammy Gorsak. Congratulations to all of you. Very good. All right, Mike, you gave a lot of suggestions on the images, those that won and some that did not. And I would suspect I'll see a few of these back in a future contest.
Okay.
Got some good thoughts for them. So if you are ready, take a breath, and we'll move over to the unlimited.
All righty.
little
Got
bit
'em
bigger
open.
set of images there. We're going to have a total of 39, and that means we'll need places 1 through 4 and 4 honorable mentions.
Ron,
Okay.
can you verify 39? I have 38 on this side.
I've got 39 on mine.
I have 39. Yeah.
Let me double check the drive link. See if we can find out where that missing one is.
While John is doing that, a number of the images that we saw this evening were ones that went through a critique session before. We got some feedback from the critique leader, and some of them were similar to the comments that Mike had this evening, and some were different. So as you can see over time, judges don't 100% agree, but it's good to take all that information in when you go back to tweak an image and get it ready to bring it back in and submit. And I've done that over the years, many times, brought images back after I've had a lot of input. John, you making any progress there?
I found the image. I'm going to find out why it didn't. I'm going to blank this screen real quick. I'm going to find out why in the world it didn't save down.
Okay. This image actually right now is not a competition image. It's pretty scary, actually, if you ask me.
Mean.
So, I'm just kidding. That's Mike Washington's picture for those of you who are observing.
Yeah, feel free to draw a mustache on it.
Okay, we can do that. We can do that.
This is pretty odd. Lightroom is saying that it is included. However, it is not.
There's some attribute on it that is not clicked.
Yeah, I'm going to import it. I'm going to force import it again. There we go. Now we got it. Let me go back over to the screen.
Okay.
There we go. I think we're good now.
Okay.
Let me clear the attributes on it. Okay, I'm ready when you guys are.
Okay. All right, let's go to, we're going to go through all 39 images and get a quick look at them. Image number 1, Snowy Lane. Number 2, Christmas Cactus. Number 3, Sunrise Flight. Number 4, Sand Castle. Number 5, Zigzag. Number 6, Fall Leaf. Number 7, Fan. Number 8, Hairy Mask. Number 9, Here's Looking at You. Number 10, Lights at Night. Number 11, Carolina Chickadee. Number 12, Imperfect Symmetry. Number 13, Season's Greetings. Number 14, Zipper. Number 15, Explore the Possibilities. Number 16, Taxi. Number 17, Yana. Number 18, Navasink Sunset. Number 19, Main and Francis Streets. Number 20, Book Pages Wall Art. Number 21, Purple Flower. Number 22, Inside Out. Number 23, The Boxer. Number 24, Old 47. Number 25, Mary Penn Sunset. Number 26, Hug Point. Number 27, Lotus in Repose. Number 28, Good Morning Havana. Number 29, Guitar Hero. Number 30, Wondering. Number 31, Steamtown. Number 32, Sandy Hook Surfer. Number 33, Fall Afternoon. Number 34, Good Morning. Number 35, Make Room. Number 36, Art of Play. Number 37, Walking into the Light. Number 38, Mill Creek Snow. Number 39, Daisy, Give Me an Answer. And that takes us back up to number 1, Snowy Lane. And Mike, you're back on.
Okay, with 40 great shots, I got to be a little bit more brutal on this one. Okay, this is actually a nice capture. However, the lighting conditions, you did good by turning this into black and white because you got the great shadows and stuff like that, but it's cropped a little too tightly. I'd like to see a little looser, a little bit more on the right side. I see a little bit more extension of that shadow because it's weighted a little bit heavier on that end of the photo, and I'd like to see a little bit more of that. So see a little bit more of the extensions because you don't really see the shadow on the upper fences, so you could probably shift this thing over just a touch. Don't think this thing requires any kind of vignetting. That I think is a little bit more distracting, or it's a little over vignetted on this one too. The whites can be a touch whiter, and I see a little bit more shadow in for detail in the fences, at least on the lower fence. This one could be reworked just a little bit more, but I don't think it's with all this competition here. I think this is going to make it. So this one's out.
Okay, number 1 is out. Number 2, Christmas Cactus.
Christmas Cactus, it's a great attempt at macro here. You got everything in focus that needs to be focused. You got the stamen and the pollen, nice and sharp. It's good. I don't know what the little blob is down below that too, but it really doesn't need to be there. And otherwise, it's a good shot, but it's a rather pedestrian shot. So I don't think it's going to meet the competition levels for tonight. So I'm going to, that one's out.
Okay, number 2 is out. Number 3, Sunrise Flight.
Boy, this is a nice Audubon shot of Canada Goose, but the lighting, it looks like you may have even used a flash because the foreground is lit so much more than the background. It really stands out, and you can tell by a little bit of the highlights are in the neck feathers and the crest of his head. Lovely shot. It's great, and we're going to let this one progress. We're going to keep this one. In.
Okay. And number 3 is In. Number 4 is Sandcastle.
Sandcastle. Oh, this is really good job. Looks like a day for night shot. Yeah, you got I like the dunes. You just got a lot of nice light sculpting in the dunes, and the castle is in focus. It's a pretty good shot, and I like the way it's composed. We're going to keep this shot.
Okay. Number 4 stays in. Number 5, zigzag.
This I like this. This is I'm a fan of architectural photography, and this one here you just kind of nailed it. Everything, all the lines are straight, everything's good. It's mirrored right down the center, and that's a hard thing to do. It's a great shot and great capture. So we're going to keep this one.
Okay. Number 5 is in. Number 6 is fall leaf.
This is a well-crafted shot. The detail is where it needs to be. You got the yellow right in the foreground. Basically, that's the money shot there. And with the other colors, you got them nice and blended in perfectly. This is a lovely composed shot. This one's in.
Okay. Number 6 is in. Number 7 is fan.
For a silhouette, this one is really well crafted. I like too, because the silhouette, I mean, with all the detail of the stray hair and the eyebrows, the nice kiss of light going right down the neckline too, to separate the neckline from the arm. That's a sign of someone who knows what they're doing there. And the curvature of the fan and along the neckline and arm of the model in the background lighting is this is a nice piece of art. We're going to keep this one in.
Okay. Number 7 is in. Number 8, hairy mask.
Yeah, I get bonus points for creativity. I'd like to know whatever voodoo this artist did to make this happen. This is even the lighting of the web strands. This is a nice, well-crafted piece of photo art. So we're going to keep this one in.
Okay. Number 8 is in. Number 9, here's looking at you.
Okay, the maker of this photo seemed to like to overcompensate for the softness of the shot that they got, probably because they cropped in a little too tight and found out that their subject wasn't as sharp as they wanted it to be. So there's a lot of telltale over sharpening residue on the bird itself. And it even it puts a little bit of noise in the eyes and everything else like that. It's a nice attempt, but it doesn't really make it, so we're going to have to drop this.
Okay. Number 9 is out. Number 10 is lights at night.
Okay, there is this one seems to be the opposite of the previous one too. Maybe an iPhone photo for it might be too, because it looks like they tried to overcompensate for the noise in this too by hitting up the luminance slider to denoise it as much as they could, and it basically turns out pretty muddy down at the bottom. You really can't tell out what all those things are. You can only kind of figure out what it might be. The detail is totally lost, so we're going to have to drop this one.
Okay. Number 10 is out. Number 11, Carolina chickadee.
Now this is a well-made photo too. This is well crafted. It's all the pieces and parts supposed to. It's a bird on a stick, and we see lots of those. But this one here is kind of special. It's nicely lit. You got the nice catchlight in the eye. One other thing I like, they didn't, since it is the depth of field is good too. So the background is not distracting or noisy. The lights or the highlights are well managed. Well, one of the things I like about it too, in that one little leaf over the top of his head, there's just some separation there. so it isn't blended into the top. That was a good piece of move there. So this is a well-crafted photo, and we're going to keep this one.
Okay, and number 11 is in. Number 12 is imperfect symmetry.
Okay, well, I try to get down to Kenilworth every July to get these lotus, and this one here is well captured, well crafted. One thing I'd like to see that would really enhance this better is the stem. I'd like to see a little separation from the stem in the background. You can do that either with lighting or some texture or something like that too. But I do like the symmetrical way this thing is framed. You can only make it better by bringing that stem up foreground a little bit more. But we're going to keep this one.
Okay, number 12 is in. Number 13, season's greeting.
Okay, this one to me appears to be kind of like a composite over whatever background it was on before, but the light, the blue, is pretty unnatural for a sky color, and you can see the light is coming in from the right. Then so should the dimming of that color. Shading it a little bit lighter, using the gradient filter to lighten up a little bit. But better yet, since the color of this is meaningless, the color is not doing anything for this. Turn this into a black and white. You can make because I do like the Dutch angle on this. This is all good. I like the way it's framed and everything. If you turn this into a black and white, I think you get a pretty good solid contender here. Work with the tones a little bit, and I think you got something going, but I'm going to drop it now.
Okay, number 13 is out. Number 14 is zipper.
Going to the fair, and I love doing these things too. I go to tons of carnivals in the summertime. One of the things you can do to make this better is basically take multiple shots of the same thing. And then one of those shots, take an ultra long exposure so you can blend it in Photoshop with some masking, and it pretty makes all the people disappear or ghosts them out considerably. And then just with a little masking, and you can bring in the shot that the exposures you like best, and leave the ones that you don't like out. But this one here too, and another thing too, when taking shots, particularly of these motion shots like that at carnivals, you do better by doing it at blue hour, somewhere between the golden hour and the blue hour. Show some sky up there, because that really makes a difference. It makes a huge difference, because otherwise you get something just laying on a big black void. So with that information, you might try it again. So I'm going to drop it for now.
Okay, number 14 is out. Number 15, explore the possibilities.
This is lovely. The detail is good. I love the lighting and the treatment of the stem. I mean, it brings out all the nice little bits of fur on the stem and everything else like that. The lighting, the texture, it's all good. It's sensual. It's very sensual. This could work on any background. Black seems to be a popular background to put flowers on, but it's well done, and I'm going to keep it.
Okay, number 15 stays in. Number 16 is taxi.
There's a lot to like about this photo. I like it because, it looks like it's Cuba, maybe because it's an old car and something like that. But it appears to be, it looks like almost a composite to me, because the car seems to be ill-placed in its environment. The lighting is a little bit different from the background to the foreground, but what it looks like is it looks like motion blur. It looks like, some artificial blurring going on there, maybe some radial blur on the tires to make this thing work. But its position it doesn't look like it's coming from anywhere. It seems like to be sitting in the middle of the plaza because it doesn't seem to be coming from a road anywhere. It seems to be coming straight from where it's at. So there is some questionability to its whereabouts, and whatever that bar or pole is behind it can probably be cloned out some way too, because I don't know what it is or how it really fits into the photograph. But red always works on everything. It makes things stand out. But it looks like you used a little bit of white vignetting too, which is not it hasn't been popular since the 80s. But everybody gets an artistic their say in it. But I'm going to have to drop this one.
Okay, number 16 is out. Number 17 is Yana.
This is a lovely, well-lit portrait. There's everything about it is right. I love the lighting on it. The eyes are very engaging. Looks like the maker knows his way around doing facial touch-up photography because the texture in the skin is just right on. Probably there's frequency separation work there. There's nothing to be said bad about this photo, so I'm going to keep it in.
Okay, number 17 stays in. Number 18 is, and I'm not sure I'm pronouncing this right, Navasink Sunset.
Okay, it looks like a fort probably near near a body of water someplace. This is a nice attempt. However, it's as a silhouette, I don't really think it works. It can be a partial silhouette, and I think it would work out a lot better. Had you taken this photo, say, probably 30 seconds or 60 seconds earlier, I would have liked the sun's position better, a little bit closer to the top. But the only problem with this as a silhouette, it is just black and white. There's really, I'd like to see, I don't know if those trees are in the front of the ramparts or behind them. I'd like to see what's going on in the foreground just a little bit, even if it's dark. With that said, I'm just going to say this one doesn't make this is out.
Okay, number 18 is out. Number 19, Main and Francis Streets.
This is this appears to be like a handheld HDR to me. Had it been on a tripod, I would have. If it was on a tripod, I would have stopped down to f/16 or something, basically, because the highlights are blown out there, and probably got a lot more motion in the cars. So you got one car in motion, none of the rest. So if you're on a tripod, you can go manual and make all kinds of individual adjustments to compensate for these things. The composition and placement of this is gorgeous, but I think there's a lot more competition that you're up against tonight. This one would have made it in a smaller group, but I'm going to have to drop it here.
Okay, number 19 is out. Number 20, Book Pages Wall Art.
This is a nice piece of art. I like the way it's handled. It's very simple. It's abstract, and it does make a nice piece of wall art. I can sit there and look at this for a while. I like the angles, the curvatures, even the blending between a couple of. I don't know if that's Photoshop blending or if it was that way anyway. But I'm going to keep this one in.
Okay, number 20 is in. Number 21, Purple Flowers.
Purple flower.
Purple flower.
Okay, water lily, and I love the colors of it. I mean, it's just you really captured the colors and the inner glow of it very nicely. But it looks like you're trying to hide something with the heavy white vignetting on this, because it doesn't really work too well. I would like to see more of the flower. You got the whole top of the flower basically chopped off, and something's peeking through, and I don't know exactly what on the upper right up there. A lovely flower, lovely color, but I don't particularly care for the treatment of it, so I'm going to drop it.
Okay, number 21 is out. Number 22 is inside out.
This one's got a lot going on to it. I mean, I'm just bouncing all over the place, following these lines around and the lines. The downside of this is a lot of it is not particularly sharp. Could have used a much deeper depth of field to it. This would work a whole lot better if we use F16 or 22 even, to get more of this in sharp focus relief. It's kind of hard to do after the fact, but this looks like science fiction to me. And with all the lines and the curves and everything else like that, this has a lot of potential. But it just needs a little bit more sharpness. So I'm going to drop this one.
Okay, number 22 is out. Number 23, the boxer.
The boxer, this one here is shot very well. I mean, you got a good depth of field going to everything sharp that needs to be on it. The tonality is good. Don't know if you really need that wire or rope in the background, because that is kind of a distraction since it's so close to the subject's head. I'll take that out. And now, I like the detail and the upper body too, and in the biceps. It all looks good. I'm waffling on this one because you've got a lot of other competition in here, but I think I'm going to leave this in.
Okay. The boxer is in. Number 24, Old 47.
This is a very nice piece. Got everything working very well for it. The sharpening is good. The detail, I just love, all the old ruts. This is would have made it into the imperfect or whatever that category was in the MPA photo category. But this one suggestion I would give the maker too, and I won't give it any demerits. There's a lot of bluish color cast in this too. You could probably control that a little bit better through Lightroom or a couple of its plugins, or even in Photoshop, going to the curves and taking the blue channel down just a smidge. Because it is affecting the colors of everything else in there. But other than that, I'm going to keep this one in.
Okay, number 24 is in. Number 25, Mary Penn Sunset.
Okay, I'm sure the maker.
Oops, wait a minute.
Yes, Mary Penn Sunset.
Okay.
25. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sure this is the way the maker probably saw it at the time, but I think that's a little over magenta because it's leaving a definite magenta cast on everything. That could be controlled a lot more, but with precision in Photoshop or Lightroom. You could even leave the light in the river or creek, whichever run alongside there too, because that's nice. That's a nice high. That's a nice thing, but it's just a little over the top in color, particularly in the magenta range. So I'm going to drop this one.
Okay, 25 is out. 26 is Hug Point.
I like this, and I like the rendering as a panorama on this too. but there's a couple of the distractions in there that number one, your focus point isn't really right on because everything from the rocks on seems to be just a touch soft, and it even looks a little glowy on the face cliffs of the two right cliffs, as if you're using an Norton effect of some sort. But that highlight right in the middle is definitely a little over the top. Just a little blown out, and there's not enough light around there to really support that unless that's metallic and it's just catching the light from the sun straight on, because you can see the light is coming from opposite those cliffs. It's a nice attempt, but I'd give it another second shot at working some of those out. I'm going to drop this one.
Okay. Number 26 is out. Number 27, Lotus in Repose.
This is very nicely done. I like the tonality of it. From light to shadow is good. The detail is great, and the tonal treatment of it is good on the black background. It's well made. It will hang well and look good on a wall. I'm going to keep this one in.
Okay, number 27 is in. Hang on one second. Good Morning Havana, number 28.
This is a nice story. I like the colors in it. I like the treatment. The maker did well separating the hair from the background. Jay's the gesture is lovely. Then the smile is great. I mean, this is very nicely done. I'm going to keep this one in.
Okay, and number 28 is in. Number 29, Guitar Hero.
Okay, I will say this shot is probably more special to the maker than anybody else. This looks like, a photo someone did in their family, and it's going to be a nice family photo. I don't see it making the competition. I would offer some suggestions on this too, because everything below the neck of the guitar is kind of lost and dropped out into black. You might want to work that up so you can see some separation between the guitar neck and what's behind it. It's a little light, and that's an artistic choice, and I'll leave that too. But yeah, you need to work the shadows in there a bit more too. Color's okay. It's against a pretty dark background, so you might want to think about some separation between the foreground and the background on that as well. Other than that, we're going to take it out.
Okay, 29 is out. Number 30 is Wondering.
This is a nice storytelling shot. Everything is in detail. It's a great shot, great pose. Nice gesture to that. The sky tells a story too, and it's all part of the story. It's kind of a somber piece, and I like the way it's composed, and with her being basically framed by the walls. It's a good shot. I'm going to keep it.
Okay, number 30, Wondering is in. Number 31, Steamtown.
This is an ultra low-key shot. There's a lot going on here too. I think you could probably do a little bit more in the dodging and burning to bring out the highlights, to separate it from a lot of the dark parts, and basically, make those metallic parts look metallic. Other than that, I mean, it doesn't show up well on a dark screen. You definitely have to have, some sort of a big background next to it, some gray or white or whatever. But yeah, I'm going to drop this shot, but I think it's a great shot. But it can be made better. I'm going to take this one out.
Okay, number 31 is out. Number 32, Sandy Hook Surfer.
Okay, this shot here is more of a snapshot to me and a little pedestrian. You got a guy walking with a surfboard. There's no particular action going on, some wave action maybe, but it tells a nice little story, but it's of little interest to me. So I'm going to take this one out.
Okay, number 32 is out. Number 33 is Fall Afternoon.
Oh, you got there in the right place and the right time with no subject to put in it. It's great. But what would make it better is having, a dog or an animal or something walking along the path there. And that would have just nailed that shot. Without it, it's just a nice shot of trees and sunbeams. I would save this shot and use it for a composite until you can find a nice subject to put in it. And then re-enter it. But for now, I'm going to take it out.
Okay, number 33 is out. Number 34 is Good Morning.
Okay, started struggling with this here too. It looks like it may have been a handheld shot. You could have used a deeper depth of focus and select your focus point a little bit better. It seems like the wings are sharper than anything else in this image too. The legs are a touch sharper, but I don't know why the body is so soft, because it's closer than the wings. Don't know what you were using for a camera or what your settings were, but I would suggest if you're going to go out someplace taking dragonflies, probably got good enough light. You're going to have to stop your camera down considerably, but the takeaway from that is your background's going to come in too. So you got to choose your battles here too. Work with your exposure triangle to nail in that spot where you can get your subject in focus and your background a little softer. I'm going to have to take this one out.
Okay, number 34 is out. Number 35 is Make Room.
Boy, this one here is a nice moment of capture. I mean, you definitely captured the moment there. You're struggling with some weeds here, though, too, and they can be dealt with. You can do a little pruning in Photoshop to make it, because this is a spectacular, moment too. But you have to be a little bit more judicious in the things that are encroaching. And then actually, you could probably just get away with getting rid of the two uppermost branches on the bottom there, on the bottom eagle, because they are a bit distracting. The rest of them I can deal with, but it's just those two too. A little slight pruning. That's a great shot, but I'm gonna take this one out.
Okay, 35 is out. Number 36. Art of Play.
Oops, there it is. Okay. Well, it's a nice composition of croquet rackets. They're not particularly in focus, and you're dealing with a pretty limited color palette too. Just basically oranges primarily, but there's not much of interest here. It looks like croquet mallets in a box, but don't know if there's any story there. Or I'm going to drop this one.
Okay, number 36 is out. Number 37, Walking into the Light.
Okay, this one is a well captured, good good point of focus on this too, because basically the focusing is just wrapping this thing around. It's its own frame. It's done well, and with the warm and cold tonality in this, it's very. I'm going to keep this one in.
Okay, number 37 stays in. Number 38, Mill Creek Snow.
Okay, this one here, your focus drops off pretty rapidly, right past the trees, and you got a nice meandering little piece of water, stuff like that, though, but there's not a whole lot of interest in there. I mean, because without anything to really lay my eye on, which I really don't, I can't really evaluate this to be, to make it into the rest of the competition. It just right beyond the trees, everything just kind of falls off, and there's no real there. So I'm gonna have to take this one out.
Okay, number 38 is out. Number 39, Daisy, give me an answer.
Okay, you got this thing nailed in focus-wise. It's laying on a field of black, but there's no lighting. It's just pretty flat. There's nothing nothing to keep me engaged in this photo, other than technically you've got all it's in focus, and it's white and yellow and black. Maybe it could be a flag day, but you need to have this in something else in this to give me some interest, because it's so symmetrical. There's no curvature to it. There's no gesture. It's just the flower. So I'm going to have to take this one out.
Okay, Mike, that was our last image, number 39.
Okay.
Let's see how many survivors we have.
Come down to metadata and flagged. There we go.
Okay, John, I have 17. Does that match yours?
Yes, it does.
Okay. Mike, that's a fair number.
Let me just confirm with you. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got 18. I may be missing one. So let me just read the numbers and like bingo, tell me if I got it right. I got number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6, number 7, number 8, number 11, 12, 15, 17, 20, 23, 24, 27, 28, 30, 35, and 37.
I do not have 35. John, do you have 35?
Neither do I.
Okay.
So
let me double check.
18, so 35 is the one. Okay. Alrighty. Let me just. Where's? Oh yes. Okay. Yeah. 35.
35 was the Eagles. You did choose out. Okay. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, boy, this is going to be a tough one. So, this time around, I'm going to do the eliminations first. Try to get this out. How many do I need total? 9?
8, I believe. 1 through 4, and 4 honorable mention.
Okay. And okay, the ones I'm going to drop, and not because they are bad images, but I'm just dropping them down because I think there's a couple that are a little bit better. The boxer, which I thought was a well-made photo, I'm just going to take it out because of the little distraction of the wire behind.
Okay. That's number 23, right?
Correct.
Right.
That's out.
Okay.
Whew, hate to do this, but Sandcastle. I'm going to drop this one down because there's some I like better than that one, but that's a very good one. That's number 4.
Sandcastle, number 4. Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to take out the chickadee, which I think is a very fine photo. Number 11.
Number 11. Okay.
Scanning down. Okay, number 3, Sunrise Flight, the Canada Goose.
Okay. Number 3.
That's out, right?
That is out, yes.
Yep.
I'm dropping that one.
Okay, so that's 4 out. You have 5 more to take out. Is that correct?
Looks like 6, maybe. 1, 2, 3, 4,
Okay.
6. I need a total of 6, 8.
8.
Yeah, I need to take out 6 more.
Okay.
Yeah. Those are spectacular. Oh no, wait a second. I already took this one out. Okay, there we go. Man. I'm going to take Yama out, number 17.
Okay.
That's a very well piece. Very well done. And number 37, Walking into the Light.
Okay.
A lot going on with that one. Oh, shoo. Number 12, Imperfect Symmetry, primarily because it could be made a little bit better.
I count 2 more.
Okay. Eeny, meeny. Oh, shucks. That's 6 and 2, which... Okay. Oh, man. Old 47, number 24.
Okay, 47.
I really like the artistic quality of that, but like I said, you might want to work on that blue cast. And take out number 30, Wandering. Okay, now
Okay.
comes the placements. 4 honorable mentions.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll take number 27, rather, Lotus in Repose as an honorable mention.
Okay.
I will take number 28, Morning in Havana, honorable mention.
Okay.
Number 15, Explore the Possibilities as an honorable mention.
Okay.
And Book Pages, number 20 as an honorable mention.
Okay.
This is a coin toss all the way now. Jeez. Number 4. Excuse me. Number 5, Zigzag is 4th place.
Okay.
Number 6, Fall Leaf, 3rd place. Number 8, Hairy Mask, 2nd place. And number 7, Fan, is 1st.
Okay. All right, Mike, let's go over the final results. Honorable mention, number 28, Good Morning Havana. Honorable mention goes to Kathy Hockle. Number 27, Lotus in Repose. Honorable mention goes to Ron Pfeiffer. Number 20, Book Pages Wall Art. Honorable mention goes to J.C. Williams. And number 15, Explore the Possibilities. Honorable mention goes to J.C. Williams. 4th place is Zigzag. 4th place goes to Greg Hockle. Fall Leaf, 3rd place ribbon goes to Louis Sapienza. Number 8, Hairy Mask. 2nd place goes to Bob Weber. And the 1st place winner this evening is number 7, The Fan, John Milliker Jr. Congratulations to all the winners.
Yeah, congratulations to you too, and to all of you that made it to this round.
Mike, I'm glad you were judging this evening and I wasn't. That was
it was a difficult chore,
yeah.
but an enjoyable one nonetheless, because I'm a bit of an image junkie, and I love the stuff I'm seeing from you guys.
Great. Well, we really appreciate it. You did an excellent job. Gave us a lot of good feedback that we can consider this next week, and look for another competition down the road for some of the ones that did not make it in. But I think if you got 1, 2, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, or 4th, you cannot resubmit that. Obviously, you get 1 ribbon. So anyway, Mike Washington, thank you so much. You did a wonderful job, and you got us out of here well before 9 o'clock this evening. So that's quite an accomplishment, given the number of images we had. So
okay, go out and pop a cork and have a great evening.
Right. Thank you. You
Sure.
too. John, we'll turn it back to you at this point.
All right. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Ron. Congratulations to all the winners. As a reminder, if you won 1st, 2nd, 3rd, or 4th, or an honorable mention in either category, please submit them to the Facebook page. Post your images. Talk a little bit about how you created the image, and just give us a little bit more information on them. We'd like to hear them. That, of course, is a throwback to when we can meet in person, and when we have you stand up and talk about the image there. So that's about all we get, unfortunately, right now. But thanks for joining us, and we look forward to visiting with you next time. Make sure to keep an eye out for an email coming out very soon. We're going to talk about what the plans are for next week and also on February 3rd. Good night, everybody.